Deep within the quiet town of Willowbrook stood a house with a dark secret. The locals whispered tales of a ghostly presence that lurked within its walls, enticing unsuspecting souls to enter. Legend had it that the ghost would trick people into becoming caretakers, only to reveal itself as a phantom in disguise. The house itself seemed to embody the darkness of its history, as if it fed off the sorrow and despair of those unfortunate enough to cross its threshold. One fateful evening, Megan, a young and ambitious woman, arrived at the house in response to an advertisement seeking a caretaker. The moment she stepped foot inside, the atmosphere shifted. Shadows danced along the walls, and a chilling breeze brushed against her skin. Unbeknownst to Megan, she had entered a realm where the boundaries between the living and the dead began to blur. The house, eager to claim another soul, took on a sinister aura. As Megan ventured deeper into its rooms, the air grew heavy with a sense of foreboding. The creaking of the floorboards seemed to echo with haunting laughter. Unseen eyes watched her every move, observing with a spectral curiosity. Unfazed by the growing darkness, Megan pressed forward. She entered a room adorned with faded portraits and antique furniture. The figures in the paintings seemed to come alive, their eyes following her every step. She could feel their gaze pierce through her very being, as if they were peering into her soul. Suddenly, the room grew colder, and a chilling voice echoed through the air. "Welcome, Megan," it whispered, sending shivers down her spine. Megan spun around, her heart pounding in her chest. To her surprise, the room was no longer empty. It was filled with the transparent forms of the house's past inhabitants, ghosts from a time long gone. The ghostly figures, trapped within the house's eternal embrace, began their spectral interview. Each ghost posed questions, their voices carrying a melancholic weight that echoed through the chambers. Megan, still unaware of her predicament, answered with sincerity, oblivious to the fading line between life and death. As the interview progressed, the house embraced its malevolence. The once dimly lit rooms grew darker, the walls seemed to close in, and the air turned suffocating. Megan's presence became a flickering candle in the encroaching darkness. Yet, she remained blissfully unaware of the insidious transformation happening around her. Finally, the interview reached its chilling climax. The spirits, with a unanimous decision, deemed Megan a suitable candidate for the role of caretaker. In that moment, the house's darkest intentions were revealed. The walls seemed to pulsate with a sinister energy, and Megan's body was consumed by an unseen force, her essence absorbed into the very fabric of the house. As Megan's life force merged with the dwelling, her consciousness faded away. She became a spectral entity, bound to the house for eternity, her awareness trapped within its haunted halls. Decades passed, and Megan existed in a timeless void, oblivious to the passage of time. Then, one day, a new visitor arrived at the house, a young woman named Emily. As Emily stepped through the doorway, the house seemed to awaken from its slumber. Shadows danced with a renewed vigor, and the air grew heavy with a century's worth of despair. Emily, sensing an eerie presence, explored the house's dilapidated rooms. In one forgotten corner, she discovered Megan, a ghostly figure trapped within the house's spectral embrace. As the realization washed over Emily, Megan's long-lost memories flooded back, and she understood the truth, that she had been trapped within these cursed walls for over a century, unknowingly playing the role of caretaker in her spectral form. Deep within the confines of the house, Megan existed in a hauntingly repetitive existence. The passage of time had become a blurred memory, and she wandered the shadowy corridors, perpetually trapped in a spectral state. The once vibrant young woman had been transformed into a mere echo of her former self, a ghostly apparition bound to the house's insidious curse. As Emily, the new visitor, delved deeper into the house's mysteries, Megan's ethereal form flickered into view. Her translucent figure bore the weight of a century's worth of despair and longing. She gazed at Emily with eyes that held an odd mix of desperation and hope, silently pleading for release from her spectral imprisonment. Emily, sensitive to the supernatural realm, sensed Megan's presence and gradually pieced together the fragments of the house's dark history. She unearthed old newspaper clippings, yellowed with age, revealing stories of previous caretakers who had vanished without a trace. The realization sent shivers down Emily's spine. But it also ignited a determination to free Megan and expose the house's malevolence to the world. In her quest for answers, Emily sought out the local historian, Mr. Anderson, renowned for his knowledge of Willowbrook's haunted past. He spoke of a tragic event that had befallen the house decades ago, a fire that claimed the lives of its inhabitants, including Megan, who had been a caretaker at the time. It was said that the spirits of the deceased had since lured unsuspecting souls into the house, drawing them into an eternal cycle of caretaking and spectral servitude. Driven by a desire to break the cycle, Emily delved into forbidden rituals and ancient texts, desperate to find a way to sever the house's hold over Megan. With every incantation and research expedition, the oppressive darkness of the house intensified, as if the malevolent entity lurking within fought back against Emily's efforts. Unbeknownst to Emily, Megan had become her constant companion, silently guiding her through the house's treacherous corridors. Megan's spectral form glowed dimly, her ethereal touch providing comfort and support amidst the encroaching gloom. She longed for the day when Emily's mission would be complete and her soul finally set free. Finally, the pivotal moment arrived. Armed with her newfound knowledge and a talisman crafted from ancient runes, Emily prepared for a climactic confrontation with the house's malevolent entity. As she stepped into the heart of the house, the oppressive atmosphere reached its peak, suffocating her senses and obscuring her vision. Within the darkness, a menacing presence loomed. A chilling voice, echoing with the echoes of countless lost souls, taunted Emily, promising eternal torment and imprisonment. But she stood resolute, clutching the talisman tightly, channeling her resolve and the power of her determination. As Emily recited the incantation, the house convulsed with fury. Shadows writhed, and the walls seemed to pulsate with a malevolent energy. The entity fought to maintain its hold, its tendrils of darkness lashing out, desperate to keep its spectral captives in perpetual servitude. But Emily's conviction prevailed. The talisman glowed with a brilliant light, forcing the darkness to retreat. As the entity weakened, Megan's spectral form wavered, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and hope. With one final surge of power, Emily shattered the shackles that bound Megan, severing her ties to the cursed house. As the darkness dissipated, Emily and Megan stood face to face, both relieved and awestruck by the liberation they had achieved. Tears of gratitude welled in Megan's eyes as she thanked Emily for her unwavering determination and